Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I never wanted to move back to Blackwood Creek, especially not into my Great-Aunt Evelyn's house. Evelyn was eccentric. Her house, perched on a hill overlooking the desolate plains, was a testament to that, full of strange contraptions, dusty taxidermy, and an unnerving silence that seemed to soak into the walls. But after my last relationship imploded, leaving me with nothing but a mountain of debt and a broken heart, inheriting her property felt like a twisted second chance. A fresh start, they called it. The first thing I noticed was the mirror in the master bedroom. It was enormous, floor to ceiling, framed in heavily carved dark wood that looked like gnarled roots. It wasn't just old. It felt ancient, heavy with unseen history. Evelyn had apparently cherished it, never letting anyone move it. I figured it was just another of her oddities, a grand, slightly unsettling antique. It became a focal point for me, a way to anchor myself in this strange new home. I'd stand before it, trying to remember the person I used to be. The first oddity was subtle, a flicker. I'd be brushing my hair, and for a split second my reflection would just distort, like static on an old TV or a ripple in water. My eyes would look too wide, my mouth stretched, or my skin would momentarily appear mottled and gray. I'd blink, shake my head, and it would be gone. Just the old house playing tricks I'd tell myself, or perhaps stress. Then came the growths. I found the first one in the kitchen, nestled behind the toaster. A small, fleshy lump, pale and glistening, like raw chicken but with an unnerving vascular pattern. It squelched slightly when I poked it with a spatula. I gagged, thinking a rat had brought in some gruesome trophy, or maybe old Evelyn had left some forgotten putrid meat. I bagged it, bleached the counter, and threw it out with a shudder. But then there was another, and another, appearing in different spots on the windowsill, in the linen closet, even tucked into the folds of my blanket one morning. They weren't animal parts. They were human or disturbingly close. A small, bulbous mass with what looked like an optic nerve trailing from it. A convoluted pinkish-gray organ that resembled a miniature brain. My stomach churned with a primal fear. Where were these coming from? Who would do this? The house was locked. Blackwood Creek was isolated. One morning, while standing before the mirror, still exhausted and haunted by the latest discovery, a small, perfectly formed earlobe, but with too many folds, too much cartilage, I felt a strange itching on my left hand. I looked down. Where my little finger should have been, there was now a sixth digit, small and rudimentary, but undeniably a finger. It was pale, just like the growths, and the skin around it felt unnaturally tight. I screamed. The reflection in the mirror didn't scream. It smiled. A slow, stretching grin that pulled my lips wider than physically possible, revealing too many teeth, all sharp and pointed. My reflection had an extra finger, too, longer and more developed than the one on my actual hand. It slowly lifted its monstrous hand and waved at me. Panic seized me. I stumbled back, knocking over a dusty armchair. I stared at my hand, at the grotesque, alien finger that had replaced what was once normal. My reflection in the mirror was no longer me. It was a caricature, a grotesque blueprint of something awful. Its eyes, my eyes, were now sunken and black, its skin pulled taut over sharp cheekbones. I looked like a starved, predatory version of myself. I called Isaac Schneider, an antique dealer I'd occasionally used for valuations on inherited items. I described the mirror in a trembling voice, trying to keep the hysteria out of my tone. He listened patiently. "Willa," he said, his voice grave, "I remember that mirror. Evelyn bought it from an old estate sale way out in the bog country. They say it was cursed. Shows you what you could be rather than what you are, or perhaps what you are becoming." He paused. "Evelyn, she started seeing things in it. Changed her, they say, made her reclusive." He didn't say insane, but I heard it. "Some say she used to carve pieces from her own body, offerings to what she saw in there, trying to keep it at bay." The phone slipped from my suddenly sweaty hand. Offerings, the growths, the parts appearing in my house, my own parts. The mirror wasn't showing me what I could be. It was showing me what I was becoming, piece by terrifying piece. And those pieces, the ones I found, they were the spare parts. The ones that hadn't quite fit when they were being put back together, or perhaps the ones that would form the next monstrous addition. That night, the mirror's reflection wasn't me at all. It was a fully formed, horrifying entity that resembled me only in the broadest, most twisted sense. Its skin was mottled with gray and pink, its limbs gangly, and its face was a landscape of too many features, extra eyes socketed into its forehead, a jaw that unhinged too wide. It looked like a living mosaic of grotesque human parts. Its mouth, too wide, formed a silent shriek. Its hands, many-fingered, pressed against the glass, making the surface ripple as if it were water, not solid. It wasn't beckoning me anymore. It was pulling, demanding. I felt my skin crawl, my muscles twitching, aching to conform to its image. I felt my face contort, my jaw wanting to dislocate. I saw my right hand, still normal, begin to sprout a new, small protuberance from the palm. With a roar of pure terror, I grabbed a heavy fireplace poker and slammed it into the mirror. The ancient wood frame shuddered, but the glass held. I screamed, again and again, hitting it with all my might until my arms ached and my vision swam. Finally, with a deafening crack, a spiderweb of fractures spread across the glass. The monstrous reflection shrieked, a sound that seemed to vibrate in my bones, but was silent to my ears. It began to dissolve, its features melting and reforming into something chaotic and even more horrifying, before finally fatting as the glass shattered completely. I stood there, panting, the poker heavy in my numb hands, shards of glass scattered around me like fallen stars. The frame remained, but the surface was gone, just a dark, empty space. I stared at my reflection in a smaller piece of glass on the floor. My eyes were still too wide, my skin still pale and taut, and on my right palm that protuberance had grown, now a small, perfectly formed, fleshy eye. It blinked slowly. I don't know what I'll do when I run out of bandages, or when someone finally comes knocking.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.